You are standing in the middle of a test site. Sand, a rusty trailer, a concrete cross on the ground about 30 meters away. Far behind you, behind a dirt berm, observers in helmets are sitting. You are not wearing a helmet. You do not know what that cross is for. In 1 minute you will find out, and the knowledge will be of no use. You hear a sound, low, steady, as if someone is mowing a lawn at an altitude of 30 meters. It is not a lawn, and it is not a mower. It is 6 meters of metal, 1.5 tons of weight, and a turbofan engine the size of a suitcase. This thing has been flying for more than 1 hour. It has traveled 1,000 kilometers, comparing the terrain below with a map in its own memory the entire way. And on its approach, it looked at the terrain with a camera and was satisfied. It wants that cross over there. You are standing 30 meters away, and it is fine with that. The good news is, it is slow. 880 kilometers per hour, slower than a passenger airliner. The bad news is, that is the only good news in this entire video. From here on, everything will go according to a schedule that your body is not adapted to by a single nerve. The first stage will take a couple of seconds. The second, 2/1000ths of a second. The third will start before your brain receives a notification that something abnormal is happening. Your body has prepared a rich package of options for this moment. Reflexes, adrenaline, the instinct to duck. All of this will be late today, completely. Like a courier texting, "I am downstairs," 2 hours after you left. Actually, your body is a startup that has not updated its product for 200,000 years and is still sure that it owns the market. Today, a competitor with a turbofan engine comes for it. And the main surprise of the day? It is not shrapnel, fire, or impact that kills you. It is the air that kills you. The very air you are breathing right now. The good news is, you really do hear it. It flies slower than the speed of sound, which means the sound arrives first. A fair warning is a rare generosity. The bad news is, your nervous system works like first-line technical support. Your ear files a ticket. The ticket goes to your brain. Your brain searches the knowledge base, looking for low hum, approaching, desert, finds nothing, and issues a standard solution, probably a plane. All of this takes between 150 and 300 milliseconds. Your brain is quite the optimist. Optimism in its execution looks like a passenger on a sinking ship asking what time dinner will be served. Faced with an unfamiliar sound, its first move is to pick the most calming explanation. Usually this is useful. You don't jump at every slamming door. Today, this feature is working against you with an efficiency worthy of an award. Your muscles will manage to do approximately nothing. Evolution gave you nature's best dodging reflex, designed for a rock thrown by a neighboring primate. No complaints about the reflex itself. The complaint is about the deadline. The task to update for flying machinery has been sitting in the backlog for 2 million years. But for now, all of this still follows the laws you know, right up to the moment the warhead detonates. After that, the laws are canceled. Inside is a warhead weighing nearly half a ton. The explosive isn't the entire mass. Some of it goes to the casing. But the reserve is taken with plenty of excess, which, in your case, changes nothing. The explosive material doesn't burn or explode in the everyday sense. Everyday logic won't help you here at all. Set it aside. The substance turns into gas, and the front of this transformation moves through the charge at a speed of about 8 kilometers per second. Not per hour, per second. A pressure wave bursts outward. Not a wind and not a shove. A sharp spike passing right through you. In your tissues, it moves slower, at about 1.5 kilometers per second, which means it passes through you completely, from chest to back, faster than you can finish thinking the word, "what?" Compare this. The fastest nerve fibers in your body carry a signal at a speed of about 120 meters per second. By human standards, it's lightning. By the standards of the wave, it's a grandfather on a scooter who also slowed down to say hello. And let's immediately discard the movie myth about a vacuum that sucks the air out of your lungs. There is a drop in pressure after the wave, but it is weak and slow, and by that part of the show, you are no longer a participant. You aren't killed by the air being taken away. You are killed by the fact that, for a couple of milliseconds, there was suddenly too much of it. At this moment, your brain is still processing the lawnmower theory. This isn't a movie-style instant death. It's a death that outruns its own notification. On the outside, almost nothing is broken. The wave does all its work on the inside. And inside you, as it turns out, there is a circus running, with a full cast and very poor safety regulations. You are about 60% water. For the wave, these are excellent conditions. It passes through dense, uniform tissue with almost no loss, like a spoon through jelly. The trouble starts where your tissue meets the air. That's where the wave trips up and dumps all of its energy. The air inside you is in 3 places: your ears, your intestines, and most importantly, your lungs. The first to be kicked off the stage is the clown. Your eardrums are a thin membrane that ruptures at a pressure level where everything else hasn't even sneezed yet. On your body's payroll, they hold the position of first to be laid off in any crisis. Next up is the main act. Your lungs are almost 500 million alveoli, tiny air sacs, each wrapped in blood vessels just 1 cell thick. Laid out in a single layer, it is about 70 square meters, folded into 2 handfuls. The only real estate you definitely own. And it's the one you're going to lose today. The wave travels along this boundary, and 500 million tiny balloons pop inward. Your blood enters where there has only ever been air your entire life. A trick that can't be repeated for an encore, because the props are single-use. As a bonus, the air heads in the opposite direction, into your blood vessels. The bubbles travel with the blood to your brain and your heart. An air bubble in your brain is like a cockroach in a server room. Tiny on its own, but it chose the perfect spot. Meanwhile, for decades, your circulatory system has been transporting oxygen, piece by piece, with delivery slips. Today they backed up a whole semi-truck of it, dumped it all without paperwork, and drove off. And notice, nothing has even hit you yet. The air did all of this. Objects will arrive in the next half second. Now it's the thing's turn. And here's the frustrating part. It's not the rocket that mostly kills you. You are killed by everything that was just lying around. Gravel, concrete dust, the rusty door of that trailer. The gravel just lay there all its life. No ambitions, no plans, no resume. 3 milliseconds of career advancement, and it becomes more dangerous than a knife. Your skin and your ribs become targets for objects that until today had no profession. Then it is your turn to become an object. The wave takes your weight and transfers it from the category of human to the category of unaccompanied cargo. Your body experiences not so much the flight as the landing. The ground did not participate in this flight and will arrive at the meeting fresh. Next, your lungs receive scorching hot air and dust. You ordered oxygen. They brought you a blowtorch and wished you bon appetit. Your diaphragm submits its resignation, and for the first time in its life, nobody is trying to hold it back. The denser the buildings, the worse it is for you. The walls reflect the wave back, and it comes twice, sometimes 3 times. The test site is the only place on the planet where standing in the middle of emptiness was the right decision. But the most unpleasant thing today will not happen to you, but to those who came to watch it. The wave observers came to watch. Now it turns out that watching is also participation. The wave has reached them too. Weakened, almost friendly. Not a scratch, helmet's intact. One dusts himself off and says everything is fine. He says it very convincingly, and he is wrong. His lungs received the same wave, just softer. The air sacs did not all burst at once, some just tore. And now, hour after hour, blood is seeping into them. He is drowning, standing up, with a mug of tea, in the middle of a conversation about how lucky he was. This is the only case in medicine when the phrase, "I'm fine," is a symptom in itself. In a few hours, it will turn out that the calmest person here was in the worst condition of all. And all of this is set up this way only because you yourself are built in a certain way, an extremely unfortunate way. You are used to thinking of yourself as something solid. Flesh, bones, weight. In fact, everything that makes you alive is in the voids. Air in the lungs, air behind the eardrum, air in the intestines. You are not a body. You are a set of cavities inside of which exactly 1 atmosphere is maintained, and all your biology is based on the assumption that it will always be this way. Hundreds of millions of years ago, your ancestors crawled out onto land and received as a gift a steady, calm pressure. Since then, evolution has never considered a scenario in which this pressure is changed on purpose, let alone from 1,000 kilometers away. We built a machine with maps, memory, and eyes. It flies for an hour over foreign land and recognizes the terrain by its silhouettes. Half a century of development, thousands of engineers, entire factories, and all for the sake of one thing: to talk to the air in your chest for 2 milliseconds. The air doesn't argue. You carry it inside you all your life and consider it an ally. It was just waiting to be asked. Ever heard a sound that made everything inside you clench, only to find out a minute later it was nothing? What was that?